I did a post not too long ago, really breaking down, and this is isn't a new concept that I've kind of explored, but it is kind of in your face right now. So it's best that we address it. It's fresh on people's minds. Now, I went and checked myself. If you go to Kamala Harris Khan's presidential campaign website, first thing it asks you to do is donate money. That's not abnormal. But you will go here and you will see that there are a couple of things, actually just a few. There's a store, of course, you can join kind of the newsletter and what have you. But there ain't jack diddly squat about policy, okay? If you go to the take action, this is just them trying to collect your information. If you go to meet Kamala Harris Khan, there's just, stuff talking about her and her Indian mother, and that's about it. It's some other stuff in here about, her accomplishments and who she is, but there's nothing specifically about policies, okay? And it doesn't exist. It's nothing here on the website. Again, I'm watching it live here, and I've already checked before. I went up through this website up and down. There is nothing there. Now, you may be one of those that are very rational, logical, if you will. And you may think, well, that would tank her. That shouldn't be the case. You're running for president. People want substance. No, they don't. And I'm not trying to blackpill anybody. I'm actually trying to get... People that have followed me know that I've always said for the better part of a decade, more than a decade, I put it in music even for you guys over the last, again, over a decade, explaining to you that culture comes first. It's not my idea. Bart said this as well when he talked about how it's on the downstream politics, that is. You change the culture, you change the politics by default, especially in this day and age, okay? So what some people would do, and it's funny, I would see, especially people that tend to vote conservative would say, well, so-and-so being Trump, should be focusing on policy, and that's it. Policy. And they think pointing out that someone's lack of policy means that they can win on that. See, I understand that in a world where, your average voter, your average citizen is always seeking out the truth, very logical thinkers, reasonable thinkers, where they get to their position by way of reason instead of emotion. Perhaps that would work. But in order to win and in order to combat what you're dealing with right now, you need to understand the game. And the game is this. Your average voter does not give jack shit about policy. Nothing. You want to see why some of these women are stoked on Kamala Harris Khan. It has nothing to do with policy. And I think Democrats obviously understood this more than Republicans did, especially their voters, that they don't need to lead with policy because policy doesn't matter in terms of them getting in their position. They don't have to pass some sort of test, litmus test to become a president or to become a senator or become a representative. They don't have to do any of that. They just have to get more votes than their opponent. That's it. And, in some cases, presidential case, you're talking electoral college, but it's still the same general concept. So now that they understand that, especially now, well, they realize, who needs policy? Just lead with emotion. We can make shit up on the fly. Nobody cares. Right? Now, it's a great benefit to them because they have control of all the things that people consider legitimate forms of everything, really. I mean, entertainment, the legitimate forms of entertainment. They have academia. They have pretty much every institution that you can think of that exists belongs to the left, okay? And what I mean by that is that if you are to have an acceptable position among their ranks in any of those given institutions, it's leftism. You can regurgitate leftism and you'll be generally fine. If you say some things on the other side, you'll be ousted. That's just how it works because they control everything. They work so very hard. And that's why they work so very hard, because they understood we don't need the ideas on our side. If we can just have control of the general conversation as well as the cultural influence, That's all we need. So you see Kamala Harris-Khan, and you see all these folks that have talked about the fact that they're paying influencers and paying these other people to get on board with them. And people are like, well, that seems grimy. Why would they do that? Yeah, a reasonable person may think that it's grimy. To me, I see they just playing to win. They know that these people have all these followers. Unfortunately, the followers will then listen to that person. So if they're saying, hey, go vote for this candidate, you might be smart enough to think, well, that's stupid. I would not go vote for someone just because your favorite artist is saying that you should. Sure, that may make sense to you, but you need to understand that the average voter doesn't think like that. And I'm not saying this to blackpill you. I'm saying this, well, that's the game. So if you're going to win, you need to understand the game and how it's played. And that is that the average voter doesn't care about logic. So Kamala Harris-Khan, and that's not to say that she'll beat Trump, but she knows, the Democrats know they can be competitive without having to lead with policy, without having policy at all. Because fortunately, a lot of people lead with emotion. And this is why democracy is retarded. And it always has been. And you can say that, well, we're supposed to be a republic. Fine. I don't care. At the end of the day, these people are still voting for people in a democratic fashion. Right? And so whether it be their senators or it be their House of Representatives at the state or at the federal level, either of those, it's the same general concept that in order for that person to win, all they need to do is collect more votes than their opponent. That's it. It's a stupid setup. And I've been saying the hell, I wrote literally a song on Backwards' album called Democracy Sucks, because it does. It's because you get things like this, where it's like, you know, this person is stupid. You know, this person doesn't have the ideas on their side. Or worse, the ideas that they do have are terrible. You know that. You can point it out as much as you want. That does not mean that you're going to get more votes than them. Sorry. Now, do you believe that there's enough reasonable people that you can sort of compensate for that? The folks that are leading with emotion? I don't think there's that many people. I think just the general discourse should show you that. When it's all said and done, the person, especially if someone on the other side is promising them free shit, saying what they're gonna, even that's really all the presidential election is. It's a beauty contest. It's a pageant where a bunch of folks promise some shit that they can't do, because in order to even get this stuff enacted, they have to work with the Congress. It doesn't even fall within their executive powers. Yet they campaign on it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. You ain't going to do jack shit because you can't, even if you wanted to. So she doesn't need to lead with policy. She just needs to get enough votes. Certain states, electoral college, she's the winner. She could run this entire campaign. And I'm not even joking. I'm going to end on this note. She could run this entire campaign, and this website does not have to change. There can be no added policy on here. And whether she wins or loses will not be determined by that. It's the reality. Thanks for watching. Be sure to head over to Rippaverse.com to check out our comic book company. We have books, plenty of merchandise, and even some glorious animations from Rippaverse Studios.